Well, first, let me say good morning. Thank you all for being with us this morning. I also want to thank our city council. Our topic today is more related to public safety. I want to note first, before I go into any detail, that the chairwoman of public safety, City Councilor Latonya Tate, cannot be with us, but I will be sure to express a couple things she wanted me to share with the public. And I'm also here today with State Senator Roger Smitherman, as well as State Representative Treadaway and State Representative Hollis, all three who represent major portions of the city of Birmingham. So I want to thank them for their presence. I just mentioned a few minutes ago we're talking about public safety, and this conversation today is more so isolated to exhibition driving, which has been rampant not only in the city of Birmingham, but pretty much urban cores across the nation. In this ramp up of exhibition driving, it has continued to be reckless. It's continuing to be more dangerous, and citizens expect us to do something about it. In speaking with the legislators, they will tell you there is no current law that's isolated to actual exhibition driving. And so, with the help of our state legislators and state senator, we believe we have the opportunity to change that and actually put something in writing in law as well as teeth in enforcement. With that said, we've taken several steps to address reckless exhibition driving in our city. This has included police enforcement, as you know, as well as the addition of speed strips in select intersections. Separate from the current speed strips we have, the city of Birmingham has ordered an additional 50 speed strips to be placed in various intersections across the city, so we can't wait till we get them actually in place. But the next step, as I stated earlier, is strengthening that law that can actually impound vehicles and hold people accountable for their actions. Our goal is simple. We want to make our streets safe and safer for all of our residents. So that means using every tool in our toolbox. And so, because exhibition driving is so dangerous, and currently because we don't have teeth, here's what we're doing. I'm pleased to announce that members of the Jefferson County Legislative Delegation have partnered with us in our effort. I want to publicly thank them again. Representative Alan Treadaway, who served as an assistant police chief of BPD, has drafted a House bill that defines various forms of exhibition driving and impose penalties. Representative Rolanda Hollis, who represents a large portion of the eastern side of Birmingham, will be a co-sponsor of the House bill. And Senator Smitherman has agreed to sponsor a bill in the Senate to crack down on exhibition driving. The House bill does two important things that I want to say out loud. One, it provides a legal definition of exhibition driving, which removes any doubt or excuse a motorist may make. And then it imposes jail time and or fines for a first and second offense. Driving privileges can be revoked up to 6 months for a second offense, or if someone is hurt or property is damaged. And if someone is seriously injured as a result of exhibition driving, that driver faces a felony and may lose their license for up to 2 years. I think something that's really important is police will be able to impound a vehicle used in illegal exhibition driving for 48 hours. And if someone is convicted 3 or more times, their vehicle could possibly be seized. Again, I want to thank Representative Treadaway, I want to thank Representative Hollis, and I want to thank Senator Smitherman, not only for standing here, but for taking this on and helping lead. I think we all know cities in the state of Alabama don't have home rule. Oftentimes our citizens look to the city to do things, but we can't do it without collaboration and partnership with our legislative delegation. So I'm honored to stand with them. I'm honored to see them sponsor, co-sponsor, and lead in their efforts on both sides of the House. And with that, I want to turn it over to Representative Treadaway to share a few remarks.
Thank you, Mayor. As many of you know, there's been some tragedy that occurred with this type of behavior, not only in the city of Birmingham, but around the state of Alabama. So appreciate the mayor and his staff reaching out to me when one of the recent tragedies occurred here in Birmingham to draft legislation. Any chance that I can get to work in a bipartisan way for public safety, I'm all in. And that's exactly what this bill does. It's going to not only protect citizens, but protect folks that are visiting the city here, and those who are participating are just spectators at these events. So what we did with this bill, excuse me, is we updated some of the laws that were currently on the books. We define what some of this behavior is in the law, and we put some teeth into the law that the local municipalities can deal with these type of situations. The impounding of the vehicle is key for 48 hours. I think that a lot of these folks, if they realize that they can go to jail, lose their license, have their vehicle impounded, we're hoping that's enough to send a strong enough message that they won't participate in this type of behavior in such a dangerous ways. There's places that you can go to do this, and in the city limits or on any public or private area that puts lives in danger, that is not the place to be doing this.
Representative Hollis.
Good afternoon. I was honored to co-sponsor this bill because I have seen some of the after effects of this expedition driving. And I have seen where, you know, the donuts are all over other people's properties, all on the streets, and going toward one area just where I represent is John Rogers Boulevard. I think it's John Rogers Drive Boulevard, one of them. But we have walking ministries going up and down that street. We also have bicyclists going up and down that street. And sometimes we have folks out there late at night, you know, working or minding the grounds of the church over in that area. And so it could be very dangerous, you know, for anyone to be out there during that time. So I'm honored, Mayor, to co-sponsor this bill with my colleague as well as Senator Smitherman, so we can get some safety on track. Thank you.
Sir?
When you've had the opportunity to see this yourself in action, you know it's time for us to do something. Unfortunately, but in the case of having a chance to see it, fortunately to see it, I was down at Publix between 3rd and 2nd Avenue South. I'm standing on a balcony, and I'm looking at these people on 2nd Avenue and 20th Street doing these donuts. So I had a chance to see it my own self personally. On 3rd Avenue, I've had a chance to stand on a similar balcony and see people late at night racing up and down the street just like it's a drag race. And at the same time, if you all can do the numbers, it's somewhere between 400 and 1,000 people that's living right there in that whole mecca. You have the businesses down on the first level, and the danger to public safety is immense. We have to do something about this. And so I want to applaud the mayor, the city council, my colleagues as well for taking this on. And I think that we're going to be able to get something done so that our officers can have some tools to be able to protect the citizens. This is all about public safety, and it's about safety for all our citizens. So I look forward for us to move that forward. And as I know you plan, I plan to do as well. We're going to get it from the very beginning. We're going to start from that. And it doesn't matter who bill pass. It doesn't matter. You know how it is with us on the track. The first one we can get to where we need to get to, we're going to get it passed. So I just look forward to working with my colleagues and with the mayor and with the city council so that we can provide the safety and give them the tools to protect our citizens. Thank you.
Senator. Thank you, Senator Smitherman. Thank you, Representative Hollis, and thank you, Representative Treadway. I want to end where I started, which is thanking the City Council. Again, Public Safety Chairwoman of the Public Safety Committee, LaTonya Tate, could not be with us today. She's not here in Birmingham. But I did want to express some of the things she shared with me. She takes public safety very seriously in all facets, but particularly this issue. I want the public to know this issue is not isolated to the central business district, nor downtown, nor the south side of town. In any side of town you go to in any of our non-city council districts, and whether it's streets or private parking lots that include even churches, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, you see these spin out tracks and marks everywhere. This is a citywide issue. And so the city council has partnered with the mayor's office and is grateful that we're taking this approach to actually have more enforcement and teeth. So again, thank Birmingham City Council and thank our Jefferson County delegation. With that, related to this topic, we'll open it up for questions.
about a timeline? Any idea when this may gain some traction, or kind of what are the next steps with this bill?
Well, we don't go into session until March, but I intend to pre-file the bill as soon as I can when we finish organizational session in January. So we'll have it up the first day we arrive at session.
Also, we're gonna have communications and sort of informal communication with our colleagues. We meet with each other from time to time, not as a group, but, you know, 2 or 3 of us, we'll meet and discuss different other things. And these are some of the things that we'll sort of do all the pre-work. Really, when we get there, we will know, you know, if we need some amendments or not. And, but that's, as I was saying to him, we're gonna hit the ground when we get there running and getting it on through.
And I know you're not prognosticators, but do you expect opposition to this, or do you feel pretty confident it can gain some traction?
You know, when it comes to the legislature, you know, you can have opposition, it has nothing to do with the bill. So
Right.
it's always difficult to get any bill passed, but this type of bill affects the entire state of Alabama. So like Senator says,
You
we're going
said to the middle, I'm sorry.
you know, like Senator Smitherman stated, we're going to work together, hit the ground running. I personally am very optimistic and think we can get the bill passed, but I've been there long enough to never say that, you know, it's a go for sure. So, but very optimistic. We've got Senator working with us up in the Senate, Senator Smitherman. We've got colleagues in Hollis down in the House, and we will work on the bill immediately, get it to where we feel that if there is any opposition, work through that and get the bill on a fast track. So it's a priority of ours here in the Jefferson County delegation, so of the members I've spoken with. So hopefully, I don't really see any big problems, but with the legislature, it doesn't even have to have anything to do with this bill. It can fall apart.
So, the last time we were talking about exhibition driving was August 9th, I believe. Just looking at the draft date, it says August 12th. So it seems like time was not wasted with trying to get this done. Can you just talk about the homework that went behind it? Did you have to do more homework or look at other laws to see how you can make this strict?
Well, as far as me working on it within days, the mayor reached out to me, matter of fact, several times, very concerned about the tragedy, loss of life that has occurred, and what we can do collectively with the state and the city and the local delegation to address this issue. I've also spoken with his police chief, Chief Thurman, and so this is a priority of the city of Birmingham, the mayor's. One I certainly agree with, and being in law enforcement for 31 years, this is a very dangerous situation. And we've already had loss of life as we've seen in the past. We just needed to jump on it right away. So I give the credit to the mayor in contacting me on that, and jumped on board immediately because of the need for public safety here.
I was just did what he just said. The mayor has reached out, and you know, numerous times we've had several conversations about this, and council members as well. You know, and I had the opportunity really to recently to talk with the chief. And so let me say it to you like this. I say this all the time, but I never say it in these situations. Because we have the power and authority as legislators, and there's no home rule, that doesn't mean all the time that we have all the wisdom and knowledge. And that's why we have to have the mayor, the police chief, and council members to give us input. And so this bill is a collaboration of the input that they gave, because they're the ones out there on the front line dealing with that, and we're just trying to accommodate what's necessary for them to be able to do their job to protect our citizens.
Ms.
The
Mary, can I-
The
Go ahead.
legislation draft mentions exhibition and speeding, understandable, but it also mentions motor vehicle sideshows. So for those car clubs that like to gather once a month, would this legislation affect them?
No, it will not. And I think further in the bill, you'll read where it basically covers some of those type of events. Those are sponsored events, and that type of behavior is not taking place there. So what we did with the law, we took a lot of the reckless driving law, updated it, because a lot of the definitions in the current law was just outdated. So we've made it pretty specific, and we defined the behavior we're going after, so it would not affect those type of.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask you one follow-up question about this? This seems to be a tool, if you will, to rectify the issue, okay? Have you had communications with either your police chief or the police department about things that they can do more on the ground to address this issue?
We have, but as I've stated, This is a 120 square mile city, which is pretty large. We can have a realistic expectation that an officer can be at every corner, at every minute, every hour of the day. This takes place it takes place at various times. It takes place on the weekends, it takes place on the weekdays, it takes place at night, it takes place at day, it takes place on public property, it takes place on private property. And so from an enforcement standpoint, I know North Precinct, South Precinct, West Precinct, and East Precinct, it has all of the officers' attention. In addition to that, knowing that the police cannot police every intersection, we've added an additional tool separate from working with our Jefferson County delegation, which includes the stripes. If you notice, we put some down on 3rd Avenue North. I believe some are on 2nd Avenue North as well. They're working well. If you use the intersection of 3rd Avenue North and 20th, for example, that block has a significant amount of residents in that area. They have said that it's definitely slowed that noise down, that type of behavior, exhibition driving down. Since then, we know that it's working. It's been in place, that we've been able to pilot for a while. We've since ordered 50 more. As soon as they get here, we will deploy them out in other areas of the city. So consider what the delegation is doing as a third tool within the toolbox to continue to address exhibition driving, that we won't be able to solve this with police alone. We need additional tools.
Does our being short on police perhaps limit, how much, or will it create struggle for how we'll be able to enforce this citywide?
No, sir.
Could you update us on the status of staffing for the police? The FOP's been saying fewer than 350 police officers on patrol.
Well, you're referring to the same FOP that refused to meet with the chief, come to you before they talk to the chief? I don't have a comment.
Are you meeting with them, or are you working out solutions for staffing?
I'm actually hoping that the FOP wants to be in a position to work with our chief. You know me, you know my style. I don't desire to fight with the FOP. We want to get along. But as I understand it, you, and you all got information before our chief of police did. Which tells me that's more political than actual interest of solving the issue. Since then, all of you all have gotten this information from them. Our chief has directly, voluntarily reached out to them. They haven't responded to him. So before I, as mayor, make any public statements, what we're hoping for is that that dialogue actually works, where leadership among the chief and leadership among the FOP could sit down and talk, and things can be hashed out if there actual are problems to solve.
Do you have any updates on staffing levels and if they're adequate?
We'll be sure to provide that to you.
Are there is there a system created for citizens to report where they might hear exhibition driving if the police department doesn't know about where that's taking place?
Well, so from everything we've all seen, I would think that our delegation would agree. It's not organized, right? They can lead the sponsored event he just said and just scattered various sides of town. So what we suggest and will continue to suggest, if you know of this behavior, if you see this behavior, call 911.
So I'm assuming there's not going to be any plans or areas to place this type of driving in a legal area or a legal place?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. All right. That's it, everybody. Well, thank you for your time today. We appreciate you all so much.